good?
You don't want the feedback.
Okay, okay.
More to the left.
Right here, good? Everybody good? Before I get started, I just want to give a shout out to everybody that helped put this day together. Russ, Janice, Becky, Aunt Jennifer, Debbie, Eric, and everybody else that helped make this wonderful day possible. I think you should give me a round of applause. Brian, I just want to say real quick, congratulations. All you ever talked about as a kid was how you wanted to have your wedding officiated by a handsome Jew. And dude, you almost got it, man. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Sam Stefanik. I grew up next door to Brian. So if you have any memories of Brian as a kid, I was the even younger kid, stumbling after him, following him around. If you knew Brian in high school, I may not have been stumbling anymore, but I was definitely still following him. And if you knew Brian in college, he and I were both kind of stumbling around together. A lot of best man speeches talk about the time that the best man met the bride, so I may as well get this out of the way. It was May 13th, 2010. I remember it exactly because it was Game 6 of the Eastern Conference semifinals between the Cavs and the Celtics, aka what turned out to be LeBron's last game before going to Miami. I was a sophomore at OU, and all of my guy friends were planning on having a watch party at another friend's house, and Brian told us beforehand that he would be bringing a girl. And that girl turned out to be his wife. The Cavs obviously lost that game. I got really sad. I drank a lot. And Brian would later tell me I almost ruined things between him and Ryan before they ever even started. You guys, again, I am sorry about that night, but Brian, as a best man, I do think it's my responsibility to make sure that she's right for you, and if she can put up with one of your best buddies puking cinnamon whiskey up all over the place and still want to hang out with you, she is the one. So, you're welcome. If any couple here wants to test their relationship tonight, I'll be drinking heavily for the rest of the day. There's another quick shout out I need to give, and that's to my parents, Mark and Tricia, for moving on to Rydal Mount some 23 years ago. Thank you for against your better judgment, I'm sure, moving 30 feet away from Debbie and Eric Lachman. What have you done? Growing up next door to the Lachman family as a little pale skinny kid has had more of an impact on my life than I think you can imagine. Megan and Brian, you guys have always felt like siblings. And, every summer we'd spend our days in the trees in our backyards pretending rocks were animals, and our nights in your living room flipping over that damn VCR that for whatever reason only worked when it was upside down. How the hell you guys ever figured that out? I don't know, but it worked. Debbie and Eric, I love you guys. You guys have helped raise me. Debbie, as a kid, sometimes I'd be scared to get in trouble at school, not because of how my parents would react. It would be like, where most kids would be like, boy, I hope my mom doesn't find out this. I'd be like, yeah, I hope my Debbie doesn't find out this. Eric, if there's one thing I've learned from you, it's confidence.
Oh, God.
Confidence that I know what I'm talking about, even when I most certainly do not. The other day I gave some guy directions to some... I don't even know where it was. But I was confident. So thank you. So Brian, I mean, with parents like that, Brian, it's no wonder you're the way you are. I've probably got 1,000 Brian Lachman stories, but only like 14 of them are suitable for this audience. So I'm gonna tell you one. When Brian and I were both at Gilmore together, he used to drive me to school in that pickup truck. Anybody remembers that pickup truck? That gray... Uncle Brian, that's right. Where is he? Thanks for the pickup truck. Thanks for the memories. I squeezed out that back window so many times when Brian and Marty wouldn't let me get out the front door. So anyway, Brian used to drive me to school. Now, maybe it was the weather or waking up a little late or the fact that on the way to school we used to stop at 2 McDonald's. But we were late to Gilmore quite a bit. And when you were late there too many times, you would get a before-school detention. So one time Brian and I ended up going in early for a detention, which meant that we had to sit in the library and write an essay. The essay prompt that particular morning was, "What is your greatest accomplishment?" I don't remember what I wrote mine about. Obviously it wasn't that great of an accomplishment, doing well on a test or something. But what I do remember is looking over at Brian when they announced the prompt, and he goes, So while the rest of the students are sitting there thinking about what to write, there's Brian in the corner, I'll never forget it, grinning and giggling his ass off. Already hard at work. Afterwards I go to him, "Hey man, what did you write today?" He goes, my greatest accomplishment. That time I ate an entire jar of pickles in one sitting." An entire essay about eating a jar of pickles. I don't know how you ever pulled that up. If I were to get that detention today, though, I think I would say my greatest accomplishment in my life was being asked to be a part of this wedding. My friendship with Brian honestly means more to me than anything. It means the world to me.
Your mom and dad are right here.
They already know. Brian's the definition of good guy. And he embodies everything I want to be as a person. Hospitable, trustworthy. He can eat an entire jar of pickles in one sitting. Hardworking. And most of all, he's a great friend. Brian, look at this group of guys you got behind you. You got guys from college, high school, grade school, before you started going to school. And any one of them is close enough with you to have been your best man. And I think Brian, and we all know Brian has this amazing ability to be best friends with everybody, anywhere he goes. Walking around OU's campus with him was like walking around with one of the Beatles, but better looking. I'm telling you, it was insane. And Ryan, I know what you guys have is something really special, because if he acts this way towards everybody, his friends, strangers, I can't even imagine how he acts towards you. I can't. I'm super duper jealous. You know you gotta catch when I'm sure there's a bunch of girls who are jealous of you, but guys too. Overall, my favorite thing about what's happening here today is that there are now more Lachmans. Is that not the best news you've ever heard? More Lachmans. The world needs more people like the people in this room, and especially you two. I know I'm not the only one who's excited to see the life you guys have together, wherever that is. And somewhere, who knows, there's a little kid who probably hasn't even been born yet. And maybe he's even pale blonde and skinny like me. He's gonna get to grow up next door to whatever form of a family you guys decide to become. And he's gonna be the luckiest kid in the world. And deep down, I hope that little kid is my son. I love you guys. Raise your glasses.